Okay, let's get into our next discussion now. It was all over the news and trended on social media. The arrest of Nigeria's most wanted kidnapping suspect, Chukwudi Onuamadike. I think I got that name correctly. He's also known as Evans. That's a very popular name he's called.
Indeed, the man who had a 30 million naira bounty on his head was paraded by police, as our correspondent Ivy Kanuna reports.
Lagos.
Wow. Okay, that's the background to our story. We have right now joining us a security consultant, Richard Amoa. Richard, good morning.
Thank you for having me
Nice
again.
to see you. Good morning. Exactly. And we also have our own TVC News crime correspondent, Ivy Kanu, in the studio. Ivy, good morning.
Good morning.
It's really good to have you on the
Good morning,
platform.
Mike.
And I hope we're safe, really.
He's not the commissioner of police. But Ivy, let me start with you before we go into. You were there. You saw you went around the house and all of that. Tell us basically, what was the kind of home that Evans built? Give us just the assessment of what you saw.
Okay, Evans, like I rightly put in that story, was a man of class. He loved, he lived large, he lived well. And like I asked him, I say, why did you choose the very, rough path? But over the years, having reported crime, I also know that because they know the lifespan is short, they tend to live well,
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Do you understand? He had a beautiful home for his wife. His wife's room was beautiful. The kids' room was, the kitchen was lovely. Wow. Every woman's dream. Evans had taste, and it wasn't about his background, his educational background. He has his WAEC certificate. But it was just about the amount of money available to him that he could spend on things he loved.
The police described him as one of the most, perhaps the most intelligent kidnapper that they've seen in recent times. Why is that?
I think he was extremely intelligent. Evans showed the fact that it wasn't how well educated you are in certificates, that's what I mean in quotes, but how, native intelligence.
Streetwise.
He was extremely streetwise.
Okay.
Evans had about 7 phones. For each gang, there is a phone. For his family, there is a phone. Everybody he communicates with, you can't reach him. He can only call you. You can't call him. So if he keeps the 7 phones here, he knows which is for which state and who is. And if he picks a phone, it's only those gang members in that state that will be stored in that phone. So it was almost impossible for the past 7 years for police to get to him.
Okay, Richard, let's come to you on this. We've always talked about intelligence in here. This is someone who, Magodo, for those who don't live in Lagos, is a highbrow area. For you to live in Magodo, in the part where he lived, you need to belong to a class to live there, to afford to live there. And this is someone who built this house, lived there for so many years and was not detected. How does that beat the police?
This is a serious question, but I'm going to take it looking at the neighborhood, looking at the police and the community. First of all, I said it time without number, the fact that we've lost it in this country, in the fact that somebody bought a land and is building that kind of mansion. Nobody raised an eyebrow to say, where is this guy coming from? And I think time has come where we need to talk to the police. Unfortunately again, I'm saying unfortunately again, police have not made themselves available, or people have not trusted police enough to say, if I give them information, will my back be safe? And again, for 7 years, and police authorities telling me they don't know about this guy, something is funny. Something is funny. That's why we keep saying that we need to rejig Nigerian police. We need to do something. If we really are serious about our security situation in Nigeria, we need to understand that we need to reform this police. And we keep saying it. Seriously, there's no way this guy can amass. Okay, let's think about it.
Maybe
$1 million.
Yeah, maybe we should even just have a paradigm shift in our discussion this morning. Look away from the security apparatus and look to the mundane. Talk about the banks, for instance.
Okay, exactly.
It has a bank account.
I'm coming to that.
It has billions and millions in that
hold
bank
on.
account.
I'm coming to that.
Yes.
I'm coming to that. So, when you have a situation like this, when you have a top guy you are looking for, the DSS should be part of you. If possible, the military intelligence, everybody should be involved. And that's why I told you that kidnapping is becoming a big business today because there are so many people involved in this stuff. Just like she just said, look at the bank. $1 million. Where is this guy? Where is he changing the money? The breed change. So is the DSS not working with breed change? That's okay. Somebody, a family said they've given $1 million out. So please, let's know.
$1 million.
Sorry, $1 million. Wow. Now, again, this family that are giving out this money, why are they not carrying the police along to say, okay, let's mark this money? Is money not passing through the bank? What's the essence of BVM? There's just so many things that call for questioning.
And the bank will tell you they need to know their customers.
Thank you.
So didn't they know what their customer was into? That's a big question.
That's the question we need to be asking the banks right now. So that's a whole lot.
Yes, Ivy.
Yeah, I totally agree with
Richard.
With Richard. I had wondered for 7 years, before he bought where he's living now, he has 2 buildings in Magodo. He was a tenant in Magodo.
Wow.
He lived in Magodo before he moved to his building. Nobody, the person he bought the house from, where he was living before, his tenants, nobody suspected or gave information to police. It's unbelievable for 7 years that police would be on a criminal and they could not get him in Lagos. And, you know, it smells of so many, you understand?
There could be so many things that we are not seeing.
So it's too long a time for you to say he was never arrested, nobody ever knew him. Good, you say you had no photograph of him. In fact, there was a time I did a story and somebody sent a photograph, you know, like I was discussing with Mike. Thank God I didn't use him. He wasn't the person. So how was it so impossible?
They called him the masked man. In your report, one of the gang members says he's the masked man.
Do you understand? So how was he? 7 years is not 7 days.
It's not 7 days.
But why did they call him billionaire kidnapper?
I think they choose that name. They choose that name.
No, they didn't choose. It's worth more than 5 billion naira.
Wow.
Wow.
The calculation, you know, and they are still investigating. He's worth more than that.
And he has this money in a bank somewhere?
Yes, he does. There's a particular operation he did. The person paid 150 million, and he still held on to the man, insisting they should bring 300 million extra. So he's not a small...
I have no idea why we didn't see the bank manager also handcuffed in that report.
Exactly.
The bank manager should be brought to book.
And,
they are still investigating.
Ivy, another thing I want to know, I want to say here is that why is that it's only IG team that that crack this kind of these crime situations? Why not just the normal police, what's called the panty?
Yes, because the IG team, they have equipment.
So that
they have equipment.
Okay, let's take it after the. Okay, yeah, Richard, please make your point so Ivy can.
Why can't you spread this equipment around the country?
Okay.
Why is it that when we have issues, the IG has to send his team to that particular state? So what's stop us from having it? How much is the cost of those equipment that we cannot have it in 36 states of the... Look at what is happening in Kaduna as we're talking right now. Let me tell you the truth. The truth is that if this guy could have stayed for 7 years, you know how many kidnappers that are still living till today and they've not been caught. So what we're saying is that the security agencies need to work together as a team. And this is a serious stuff. Because if this guy could live among the people and people cannot talk, and again, I think Nigerians, high time we need to understand that if you say this is not my business, it's going to be your business very soon.
That's true.
This guy lives as a tenant, he has these houses, and you saw him. I keep saying, people who knows me know that I drive 1 or 2 cars. If tomorrow I come up with heavy 3 cars, even as a security consultant, you should have to be sure which contract do you...
You don't hammer.
You understand? Ask that question. If you are not too sure, go and talk to the authority. And again, we keep saying it, authorities should make themselves available. Let them have a fix. No security agency in any part of the world that work the isolation of people. You must work with the people. It's high time the police must have a fix.
Ivy, so what gave this time around? How were they able to nab him?
I think they got to somebody, started tracking the person, and he kept communicating. He kept communicating with the person. This a young man who buys a phone for $120,000. Some of those phones are extremely difficult to track. He just does not buy phone. He buys phone for his job, knowing that
some of them are encrypted.
Yes, knowing that the police are on him. So he's extremely careful. He even tracks people he has businesses with. So he's able to know who you get in touch with on your phone. Wow. So you understand? So he was something else. But I'd like to say something about what Richard said about DSS, the army. There's this intelligence rivalry that you'll always have. We want to have the name. We want to be the people that got him. Do you understand? So this keep happening. But if you see it as a synergy, the important thing is get the suspect and forget about who takes the glory.
Who takes the credit and all of that.
So they won't be having this
all right.
Sorry, there's something I need to chip in quickly. For example, we have security uniform men in every nook and cranny. In other clients, what you do is that you work with them because they see what comes in and what goes out. And very sure, look at that guy has a CCTV. And then you have a uniform security man in that house. But if a situation where police is working with the private security companies, they will give information. But as I'm telling you today, over 5,000 men and women of private security uniform are just idle. Meaning those are the resources the police could have taken to say, let's work with.
That's the police working with the
The close had private security guards. Yes. The close where he lives had private. Yeah. He did not have policemen guarding him in his house. In Magodo, what you have, you will just see a close of 5 buildings. Yes. A close of. So I wonder, is the whole community, why are you having closes everywhere? You understand? So gates at every 10 minutes, 5 minutes drive, a close.
But Ivy, did you speak to the neighbors or people around? Did they have any idea of what he was, who he was, and what he was doing?
In Nigeria, we build high walls, where we keep ourselves, where we live, and we think we cannot be, nobody can reach you. You feel you're protecting yourself. So in Magodo, nobody wanted to talk. They were all, the spiritual thing. God forbid. You see, we have to just do our part and let God be God. They didn't want to talk about it. Instead of that, they were telling us that yesterday the police came again somewhere in Magodo, handcuffed a girl. We didn't know what she did. Because once they walk into your compound, they're not going to call the community to say this is what you did. But
so the police themselves too didn't.
The good thing yesterday was that the Magodo security unit followed them to the command. They followed through. Even when we went to the second building, so that I think people should just know that security is everyone's business.
All right, Richard, let's talk about the ammunition. Quite a lot of ammunition were recovered from him yesterday. Where did he get them from? Do you know?
He got them from open market. Sometimes we hear that a custom have 6, 1 or 2 truck of ammunition, but do you know how many have entered? You see, I'll keep drumming into this government that we're playing with the life of our people. The borders are porous. Even the port. You see people have audacity to import ammunition and come through ports. And not even come through Cotonou or wherever. So the point is that the ammunition out there, there's a time we heard that, okay, there's going to be whistleblowing, if you tell people about the issue of ammunition. But who is following up on that? So we need a government that will first of all say, okay, this, my primary responsibility is security of the people. And again, the people themselves. I've said this without time, without number. Have we ever protested that? Okay, our security should be utmost in with our representatives. Please, help us with our security. No.
All right.
But what we do is that we just sit back.
Yeah. But Richard, we hear that his children have fled to Ghana and from there they'll be leaving for Canada. Do you think they should be traced and arrested alongside?
Of course. I think as it is right now, if the security agencies are working together, I think Interpol should get in right now and get the wife and the children back. and possibly go to seize that house, I say Nigerian house.
Why would you take the children?
The children are underage.
Why would you? Yeah, why would you? Why would you take the children?
They have to come back and see what their father have done.
Why would you take? No, that's
but how about his wife?
No.
In this case, Richard.
Yes.
Because we're talking about security here.
Yes.
Does in the eyes of the law, for instance, or even on moral grounds, the wife, does she have to be arrested for being an accomplice in all of this?
Of course.
Even if we have to leave the children away.
You know that
if you can pin any connection to her, yes. If you
have
can't,
to be able to.
no.
Okay. I
She
know you
was
don't
a
pay
wife.
for the sins of your father. That won't be fair.
She wasn't a suspect. She wasn't a member of the gang.
Let me say this. I have run this program, and I was telling people that if you find out that your husband or your wife, your father, your mother is into something, will you be able to speak out? People say no. But 95% Nigerians say no.
He actually said he told his wife he was into business.
Exactly.
Into business, yes. Even in court of law, I'm not sure you can testify. I don't know what Nigerian law says. You can't testify against your spouse, really. Even in that's America. I don't know what Nigerian constitution says.
But I think in all of this, if you point one finger to somebody, the fourth is pointing back at you. The point again is that the family is ashamed right now. You like it or not. The family back in Newe, they are all ashamed. So I know that the children are underage, so let's take the away from the children
out of it.
But they're going to grow to know what
their father did. All right, Ivy, apart from this kidnapping thing, was he into drugs too, or into any other kind of activity?
Yes, he actually got into armed robbery at 16, sadly, back at Newe at 16. Then from there he came over to Delta State. He had an issue. Police say he had an issue, and he's saying, okay, the robbery that they claimed I killed my victim, I did not kill him. Okay, that was the robbery that made him leave Anambra at 16. From there, he came to Edo. At some point, he traveled to South Africa, where he got into drugs. There's a shot of him that we have. He has a gunshot here, a wound deep. You know, and a surgery
from that incident.
From the incident of the South African drug, probably somebody was trying to be smart with someone and he got shot. From there he came back to Edo, you know, from Edo to Lagos before he started, you know, having his gangs everywhere. He was a young man that even his family members didn't have a picture of him. They didn't know where he lived. He has family members in Lagos who didn't know where he lived.
So the family is going to be shocked to find out that he is into what he's just been caught from. It's all right. Ivy, thank you very much for being on the program this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And Richard Hamua, thank you for coming as well.
Thank you so much.
And we hope to see more of you as we get along.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.